Hello from Canada, Smitty here. Today I have a Royal Canadian Air Force Food Packet Survival. This one's dated 1959, and I am so stoked to have this guy. Buddy actually contacted me. John, he actually stumbled across a bunch of these bad boys and picked me up one. Thank you, John. This is super stellar. As you can see, Food Packet Survival, RCAF, Royal Canadian Air Force, AFFP-3, that's the Air Force Food Packet, Generation 3. These things came out on a rotating basis. They do have a 5-year shelf life, so it does make sense. It states eat no food on the first day of survival, and make the food in this container last for 3 days. This container only weighs 425 grams, so it's relatively energy dense. You have open other end here, which is awesome. I always like being reminded on like a thing of milk that I'm an idiot. On top, we have this can opener attached to it, and they all do. These things do come in a pack of 40. All of them have the can opener and a wire to use for turning this into a pot to cook, boil water, sanitize. There's some additional information that's now more exposed on the back now that the tape's gone, but it does say open the can carefully with the can opener provided. Ta-da! Empty the food into the plastic bag provided in the sealed pack. We definitely don't have that. Place the empty can on a hard surface and use the handles of the can opener to press down any ragged edges, and use the can as a cooking utensil. Punch holes with the can opener at the places marked on either side, and then use this provided wire to make a pot. I'm really super stoked about this can opener here. These guys were provided with the pre-1981 ration packs, the IRPs, individual ration packs. They predate the IMP. Any of the service members from that time will recognize this little fancy piece of kit, and it is quite a bit bigger than its American cousin, the P38. And you can kind of differentiate this from the larger P51 can opener because the sides are parallel rather than tapered. So let's go ahead. Let's punch some holes in this bad boy, see what happens. Ooh. So that actually was kind of tough with this guy. Radius corners are really, takes a little bit of practice. And there we go. Oh, it's kind of a shame that the instructions are so beat up. So it's pretty beat up from the oils, but you can see some of the similar wording that you're going to find on the front of the can, though it does talk about drinking no water on the first day of survival and sterilizing all drinking water by boiling or using the water tablets provided in this thing. There's a bit of a funky smell to her. I'll pull out our Canadian KFS here. We're going to need it to try to get into this thing. See what we can do here. Oh, those are sticky. There's a very heavy molasses smell to this, probably from those guys. We have our salt packs. Yeah, that looks like that's come all the way down through the can system, so that's not great. Gonna need some artillery here. There we go. Chicken soup for the soul, as Steve said. Couldn't agree more, Steve. So we have some very soft sugar tabs here. Oh boy. Bunch more loose pack jelly bars. Look at that, eh? That just screams delicious. Those are the Smarties. So that coffee took a little bit of time to get out of there. It was really stuck in there. The water sterilization tabs are coming out in pieces. Actually, that's fascinating. They accidentally sealed the sterilization tab and the coffee when they rolled up this can. Oh, but she looks like a hot nightmare in there. Look at that. Boil some water in this. This is gross. Oh, it's got a real bad scent to her. What a great idea, guys. Look at that. Nothing builds your morale than this. Yeah, you can see the fruit all mixed up in there. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, that's a scent that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life right there. Some of the stickiness that I'm feeling throughout this is from some of these failed sugar cubes. That one's kind of the nicest one. Look at that, eh? 2 nice little sugar cubes that are brown. It still tastes sweet on the tongue, but there's definitely not an amazing flavor that's present with that. We've got our salt packet. Date code of 1059. First I thought it said 105 grams, but I'm like, that's not right. That salt has stood up. No discoloration inside the bag. Definitely still salt. Magical. Something's got to last. For the record, the water tabs look perfectly fine. We have our coffee. It's all been crystallized. Look at that. That looks like obsidian. Make a knife out of that. And then this. I mean, some folks mention that it's dry mold. Other folks say that it's actually the caffeine recrystallizing. Somebody took samples of this white fuzz on some older ration coffee, put his results on MRE info, and it came back as caffeine. I'm definitely not going to attempt it unless I can find one in here that's not crystallized. And you know what, to be honest, this might be our best bet. I'm getting so sticky. But there, chocolate. You can tell that it's swelled up. It's seen some heat, some fat separation. Like even some of the goo that has pervaded throughout this ration has got into that. Tally-ho. Oh yeah, the candy coating is still, oh yeah, the candy coating's fine. The chocolate is not. There's that familiar feeling. Yeah, she's bad, boys. The candy coating hits you, and you're like, oh, this is actually not too bad. And then the chocolate really follows up. That's great. That's chicken stock, all right. That's chicken fruit leather. Oh, it actually smells good. It's got the same flavor as you're gonna find in the like Ichiban noodles or anything like that. Same smell. I obviously will not be trying it. You know, if you have ever watched Steve's video on this, you know exactly what happens when he tries this. Tally-ho. Oh yeah. Oh, you get this amazing freaking cherry flavor. Oh, followed by like the bitterness of soap. It tastes like freaking soap. Oh man, not even the good kind of soap. I'm only gonna try one more of these. I'm sorry, I just don't want to risk it. But that was a nice cherry flavor up until a second ago. That one's not as bad. Exceptionally bitter, exceptionally soapy. It's no good. I'm gonna have to agree with Steve on this. Like completely unprotected. No cellophane, nothing. They were really relying heavily on these bars just surviving for its 5-year period, which this is 60 years old. I wasn't expecting anything to survive. If this coffee pack survives, I will be amazed. I'm definitely not coming back for the orange, man. I'm sorry. But holy jeez, this looks fantastic. Look at that. Oh man. I think that's the only one that's, yeah, the rest are definitely gone to the dogs. I'm gonna get a cup of coffee. Better get my coaster out and go get some hot water. I wasn't planning on that. I did not think that there would actually be anything in here that was gonna pass muster, but so far, this is looking pretty decent. It's kind of nice. The instructions for the coffee actually just say dissolve into 1 container of water, which is great. You won't have a measuring cup out there. I'm definitely not going to take the chance of mixing this in the original can. What a freaking morale boost, not only for this review, but for those guys out there. In large quantities, it is considered a diuretic. It'll make you go and lose some of your precious bodily fluids. I think the assumption is that you would have enough on hand, right? You've got sterilization tablets. These jelly bars, to modern standards, most starch jelly bars are designed in a way that does not require excess water to process or digest. If it's anything like the modern day ones, 2 bars is about 80 calories. Most of it's coming from your starch in that, not actually the sugar. And they're not very sweet. I mean, if these are designed to modern standards for these, this is corn syrup, sugar, and cornstarch, and then some flavoring agents. And definitely some color. That's probably like a red food dye color that hasn't been seen in 60 years. You know, that coffee is perfectly fine, guys. Frickin' rights. That is so good. It's a little bit bitter. It's definitely got some flavor to her. What more can you ask? This is a nice hot bevy. Well, that brought this thing back from the brink of disaster. I'd throw in one of these cubes of sugar, but this is one time in a ration where I'm glad I drink black coffee and I don't have to put any of the other components in there to ruin it. I'll drink sugar and whitener for you guys any other time, not this time. So all in all, this has been super cool. I'm really stoked. Thank you, John, for dropping this off. I mean, I definitely loved this experience. I think this is super awesome. I've got another 6 of these rations on hand, so definitely not going to open them up. I just don't think this is going to end any differently. Yeah, that's actually kind of handy. Hang that from a stick, boil your water inside there. Hope you didn't get an aircraft where they forgot to switch these bad boys out, and then have yourself a cup of joe. So these things are fairly fascinating in the sense that they developed over a relatively short period of time. You can go back and take a look at the emergency flying rations that the RAF had, where they had like amphetamines in them. Then you go into AFFP-3 up until I could only find record of 5. So I know B Temple does an excellent review of the Dash 1, as well as Steve, 1989. And then I don't think there's a Dash 2. There's definitely Dash 3, RC Gusto. Steve, 1989, obviously does one in one of his earlier reviews that I actually really enjoy. Like back in the day, starting out, it's super cool seeing where he came from and where he's got to. Yeah, he's done a Dash 3. I don't think there's a Dash 4, although I'm really pulling to see one of those fairly soon. I know a couple guys have them, and that'd be pretty neat to see. Dash 4s are 1961. Dash 5s came in actually fairly late. They actually had to put out a memorandum saying, hey guys, we screwed up. We don't have anything to replace the expiring Dash 4s. Hang in there longer. Use them until we get Dash 5s. So that memo came out late 1964, so probably at some point in 1965 they had a replacement. After that, I don't know what happened. I couldn't find anything online about emergency flying rations until the more modern era, where they've switched them out. The basic food packages now for survival are just jelly bars. That's it. If you want to take a look, there's a couple guys that have reviews of those bad boys. I would love to get my hands on one of those. They made them in 08. They made them in 2013 and 2018, and then they all have a 5-year shelf life with these jelly bars. Just a couple of quick shoutouts before I go. If you're looking for any surplus, my buddy Bill over in Montreal has started his store. He's got an eBay store, I believe a website's coming shortly, Instagram account and all that noise, and it's MTL Armory. That's without the U. I guess he's pandering to your American spellings, but hey, I'll forgive him. He's got some cool stuff over there. He started carrying meal kit supply rations for any of you Canadians looking for those. Swing on over, have a gander, and then finally, I want to thank the community. It's full of so many cool people. I don't know if you saw on the live stream with Old Smokey, I was sporting a new shirt at the meetup. That's thanks to Mr. Tracy Phillips, who is a frickin' saint of a man. I love this guy. Look what his brother made me. This thing's beautiful. I don't know if I can get it all in one frame. Absolutely gorgeous. He also created a hockey puck coaster for me, a couple t-shirts. What an absolute gem of a human being. He's got a channel. He's at 500 subs, I think, right now when this releases. Keep driving him up, guys. Keep pumping him up. He's a cool cat. As well, huge shout out to Canadian Trucker as always, and to my bro, Jesse Michaels, stopped by a live stream, and obviously Old Smokey, whom without Smokey and the Bandits, we wouldn't have such a integrated, unique community. Every Saturday night, hop on over to that live stream, I tell ya. Right arm, guys. Take care.